Hi guys, it's your boy Ocey Phillips here again, and we kicking off our e-commerce series. And this series will show how to do e-commerce in each island or each country throughout the Caribbean as we move forward. I hope this series evolves. So because I'm from Trinidad, we're starting with Trinidad and Tobago, and we're breaking down for the Trinis how to do e-commerce here, right? So as I say, my name is Ocey Phillips, and I'm going to be teaching you some of the basics for doing e-commerce in and out of Trinidad, right? If you're thinking about starting a business online or transitioning your business to online, this video is a great place to start before making any decisions on which platform to choose, how to go about a bit of strategy, things you should look for, right? So allow me to break it down step by step. Sit back, relax, and this video, at the end of this, you could ideally go and get our e-commerce site or either do it yourself. Right? Let's jump in. Now, before we get into the, hey, I need an account, I need this, you need to ask yourself some fundamental questions. And those are, what problem are you solving? Does the item you sell or the service you offer or your digital product that you have actually solving a problem for somebody? Two, is there money in the problem? Now, we can solve a problem, but there's no money in it, right? And that essentially frustrates people. I think that because you're doing digital and you're marketing and good content marketing, good SEO can't fix a bad business, right? How can I distribute the solution to the problem? Am I doing digital courses that I could list on our learning management system? Do I have products I can list on Amazon or a different platform or sell through my channel? Or do I have to rely on logistics partners, DHL, FedEx, and who else to do those things, right? And last but not least, how do I get paid? Getting paid is just as important as any other three. I think all four are equally important in your journey. So you need to figure this out before you move, because you're going to get into digital and then you're going to bust on the average and think, well, all right, let me sell swimsuits or let me sell hats or let me sell dresses that I make. And somebody's going to look at it and say, well, I'm not paying that much for a dress. I could go to Fashion Nova or somewhere else and get it for less. And they can pay and they will wait, right? So you need to ask yourself these four questions, knock it out of the park before you move, write it down, make sure there is money in the problem. You can distribute the solution to the problem, and you can get paid, most importantly, because you're in business to get paid, right? Let's move. Sorry. Right. So if we're looking at e-commerce on your own channel, so I'm going to break this down into two sets, e-commerce on your own channel and e-commerce through social media channels, right? So we're starting with e-commerce on your own channel, right? Apart from the four questions, you need to evaluate the audience, location, and demand for a product, right? How do you know that? There's a tool called Google Market Finder. You list your business or what you offer, and Google would search in different countries and would show you the top 3 highest countries that are looking for your product or something close to your product, right? So then you can know, all right, when I'm going to target my ads, I'm going to target my ads to that. Research your competition, market research, check and see, is your competitors doing good in this? Are they using certain keywords? There are tools that you could go on and look at and see what they're built on, what their website is built on. And there's different tools that you could use. Just a Google search away. Find out what your competition is using on their side, what's doing well for them. You may be able to take some, you may not be able to take some, right? Then you need to research your business models and your strategy for how you're going to drive sales, right? Meaning CAQ, customer acquisition costs. How much are you going to pay in marketing to get a customer to come to your channel? Or are you going to do it through referrals? Are you going to use influencers, right? And BEP means how are you going to calculate your break-even point for your e-commerce channel? So again, if your e-commerce channel costs you $120 US a month, right? And you know 120 US for the year. If it takes you 10 US a month to break even, how much things you need to sell to make that 10 US a month to break even for all your overheads for your e-commerce channel, not your physical channel. But these are the things that you need to look at. The business models, are you going to use freemium business models? Are you building an ecosystem? Are you going direct to consumer? Are you going business to business, business to consumer, business to government, and all the other different types of e-commerce that there is, right? Determine the platform to use and how you're going to get paid. This is always tricky because people like to say, oh my gosh, I want to use Shopify, I want to use this one, I want to use that one. And the best platform to get to use is the one that you could get paid the easiest and the fastest, right? So ease of use for receiving payments, ease of use for your customers, try that balance, but also a platform that you could do proper SEO on. And I'll get to that, right? After that, you could take it to your actual legal and accounting stuff, get somebody to register your business if it's not registered, if you're new, get your brand identity stuff if you're looking at colors, color schemes, personas, different types of things that fits on your brand, design your website and find out your proper experience, find out what solutions are you going to sell, whether it's physical products, digital product services, or a mix of all of them, right? Determine sourcing and distribution. Determine, all right, if before I am living in Trinidad, I'm looking to ship to St. Kitts because St. Kitts people like my product. After I've been on Google Market Finder, I realized St. Kitts and Jamaica are the two main places for my product. How am I going to get sourcing? Whether do I buy from somebody and sell back, or sourcing, do I buy from Alibaba, or do I drop ship? And how do I distribute? Do I look to partner with somebody and ship directly to there and have them at a warehouse? Is somebody going to do the additional distribution that consolidates with other packages or other products? You need to determine that where you're going to source your raw materials from, and how you're going to distribute, right? Research and ship and set up shipping and fulfillment. Now, processes needs to be set to a point, meaning, do you ship every other day or do you ship Monday, Wednesday, Friday? Research what's best for customers. It also depends on your goods, what you have to sell. Are they perishable, non-perishable? Are they clothing that could last a long period of time? Does it need a special kind of shipping? Does it need refrigerated shipping? Does it need extra care, bubble wrap and stuff in the shipping? All of this that you need to look at, and your fulfillment process, because this is one of the biggest problems that we have. People are accustomed to that one click, next day Amazon Prime on demand payment. So your process to deliver that on demand solution would determine if customers come back to you or buy or not, because you can't advertise or force advertise, hey, you're getting it in 2 days, and you haven't figured out the process to deliver to them in 2 days. Also, you have to look at what could be automated, what needs to be manual, how much you yourself could handle. Because again, this channel would be working for you 24/7, even while you're sleeping, right? Then you could go to GoDaddy, you could go to any one of these hosting places and get a URL, search for a URL, create your website. Now, you yourself could create your website. There's courses all over the internet. There's the University of YouTube. If you want something special, you could go to an expert. There's Karen Rose. He actually coaches you in building your own site. I would build a site, but I would build it, but I don't do the coaching aspect of it. So there's Karen. There's a lot of content that I would tie into this also. But also there's myself and plenty of other people that you could find to build a site. However, my advice to you is the site that you're building has to tie into your business model. So the site has to be reflective of everybody. If you're now transitioning from a brick and mortar store, your site needs to answer all the questions that somebody would come in and ask a CSR or ask a salesperson. All the questions that you think that clients would possibly ask when they come in, advice on different stuff. The site needs to answer all of that. So you may need a site strategy, or you may need UX design for a specific type of customers. These are the things that you need to look at, right? And then you need to develop marketing, content, social media that ties in all of that. All the other channels that drive traffic towards your own real estate, and an overall digital strategy. How do you get people to come to your site, get people to be found? This is really, really important. SEO is really, really important because people cannot buy what they don't know, right? I did some market research in Trinidad, and organically every month there's 1.1 million searches from Trinidad out of Trinidad that goes to Amazon directly. That is people that just accustomed going to Amazon. Because to me, it's a habit now. I've never been to Amazon and not been able to find what I'm looking for, right? And there are things that people are selling locally in the market here in Trinidad that people are bypassing them and going to Amazon because it can't be found. Because there's a big gap when it comes to doing SEO properly, right? Then second to last, you build your audience and your following through other social channels and content marketing, and then you launch your store, right? Now, this can happen in multiple versions of this. It doesn't have to be in that order. If you think that you want to jump onto a marketplace, I'll do a breakdown for Trinidad and marketplaces just now, so stay tuned for that. But these are basically some of the core things that you need to get done before you get out. You get a site out there from on a high level. And even if you have a site, come back through this and try to figure out, am I on the pulse, am I on the button? Because what happened in that digital landscape, those choppy digital waters in that ocean, competition is globally, right? You could be selling out of a mall in Trinidad and you're competing with Amazon, you're competing with Wish, you're competing with eBay, you're competing with Fashion Nova, you're competing with Alibaba. So you have to now be on point when it comes to these things, right? So let's dive. So based on this map, this is really a little snippet of what this tool has: is e-commerce usage, distribution in Trinidad and Tobago. So we see WooCommerce checkout is more than 50%. As I say, WordPress is a big platform, probably one of the biggest platforms that people know. But here is one of the most connected platforms in terms of payment options. So what happens here is a lot of people say, yeah, Shopify, yeah, Magento, yeah, this. But we don't have that much connections that would connect to these sites so I can get my money smoothly. Because remember, one of the 4 things you're looking at is how to get paid, right? For the solution that you're distributing, right? So we have WooCommerce, WordPress, Shopify, right? So WooCommerce is for WordPress. Then we have Shopify, and we have that Magento in orange there. Then we have Squarespace, and we have Wix, right? Now, this shows just around 50% of the websites in Trinidad are on WordPress. I'm not surprised because it's easy, quick plugins, easy. You can find builders that would help you build it out properly. Squarespace is a little bit tricky for some people. SEO on Squarespace is not as easy as WooCommerce. So search is important and getting paid. We look at Wix, Builder, Shopify, OpenCart, and the rest of others. So Shopify is great. Shopify tools are amazing. I think Shopify would grow substantially over the next couple of years as they made some partnerships, especially with Google, etc. Shopify will be big. However, we don't have that much tools here that will connect to a Shopify store to make sure that you get paid smoothly, right? And even if you probably get a tool, you maybe have to pay extra for it. So this is just giving you guys some context of what happens in Trinidad in terms of e-commerce distribution and in terms of platforms, right? So let's dive in on how to get paid. Now, there's multiple ways to get paid, and I'll show you guys that. But I think the main for us here, excluding First Atlantic, because I think First Atlantic is an enterprise side of the payment space. The SLAs and things are amazing in terms of the time that you reach your money, the robustness, the security is awesome. However, the fees may not be that enough for a small entrepreneur or guy now starting up, right? And that's why I mentioned before how you're going to get your break-even point, right? So we have WePay. Everybody know WePay is in a couple markets: Trinidad, Jamaica, Guyana, and a couple other markets in the Caribbean, right? If I'm not wrong, WePay has a connection, a sandbox connection to WooCommerce. I see they said OpenCart, they said Shopify is coming, and I think Magento, if I'm not mistaken, right? Then we have BuzzPay, right? BuzzTT/Pay, I know they would have a Shopify bridge to get paid. They would have WooCommerce and a couple other things. Be sure to check them out if you're looking for it. Then we have Social Pay, who ideally would have a bridge for Wix, for WooCommerce, for Shopify, should be Squarespace also. So check out my boy Stefan for that. So Social Pay is local. They would run in different ways, connect to a payment gateway to the back of your website, or they would also run on pay links, etc., which you would jump in after, right? PayPal, we both know a lot of people like to go that PayPal route because you can get paid and keep your money in US. The issues with switching on and switching off PayPal for the region is always a bit tricky. My boy Karen Rose did a live a couple of days ago. Jump onto his YouTube and he breaks down how to get that money from PayPal to your card. I know there was an issue with transferring money from your PayPal account to Visa debit cards. And I know at one point they were only allowing you to do that on an actual credit card. But PayPal will connect to almost every single platform that you're looking for. So how to get paid? Your options, WePay. WePay will give you a plugin for your website. It will also give you a digital invoice. That digital invoice means that you could create an invoice for whatever price. If I send you an invoice for $4,572, you could create that, send it to me, I click it, I pay, and that's it, right? But TT would give you plugins also for the backend on your website, but they would also give you that and pay links. Also, Social Pay would give you pay links, and I'll dive into pay links through the social media part of it. Then PayPal, PayPal has multiple options and multiple integrations, but this is where we are for now. So these are your options for if you could get paid. Feel free to dive on to any of these sites, get further information and look to get onto it. Oh yeah, also WePay is free. Signing up on WePay is free. There's no cost. There's only transaction costs. So jump on WePay for that. But TT, I think there's a cost for using certain plugins, right? And a transaction cost. So look at that when you're factoring stuff into your budget. Social Pay is also free to sign up for. Of course, there's a transaction cost added onto that, so you could jump onto that. And PayPal, we all know there isn't a cost for sign up, but there is that 3.6, sometimes even more percentage that they take when you're transacting, right? And beautifully, we have some of the banks that are actually contributing to e-commerce here now. Over the last year, I'm pretty sure you would have seen that each bank would have rolled out. Each bank would have been looking to change your regular Links card to a Visa debit card. What does this mean? Is that your Visa debit card would now have an expiry date, an actual operating an actual Links card, merged with a prepaid Visa card, so that you could load certain amount of US on it and make transactions. So I think all the banks has their restrictions. Jump to their sites, get the information, ask proper questions before you get this and before you use it. Some banks has fixed fees. Royal Bank has a $50 fee for usage. I think they have a cap on how much US that you use a day. So each bank would have their different limitations, and that could dive into a separate conversation, a breakdown on the payment cards. All would allow you to shop online locally in local currency, or should be switched on at some point to make purchases in US currencies within your limits. So look out for that. Question your banks, ask the proper questions. But also, if you're looking at e-commerce from a local standpoint, you may want to use as a strategy to allow people to pay you in local currency. But some people may look at it as, here's what, if I'm buying something local, I don't want to have to charge it on my actual credit card and pay US for something that I could pay for a direct price in our local currency, right? So here's where it gets tricky. right? And these are a lot of people get carried away, right? There are payment processors and there's payment acceptance, right? That's two different things. So from a processor, there are sites in Trinidad that uses Stripe Atlas, which ideally is a non-US version, should be a non-US version of accepting payments under PayPal. So PayPal mainly out for US, so Stripe Atlas is really built for other countries where they roll out and process payments through. PayPal form, this is saying that there's 2 live Trinidad websites that accept Google Pay or process Google Pay. 2 Trinidad websites that also does Amazon payments, Braintree, Checkout, and Blue Snap. Now, Blue Snap is mostly for the Eastern Caribbean states. So you'll see that popping up when I do some other breakdowns for other countries. But it is possible to have all these things listed on your site. It also may not be feasible for you to get that listed on your site because these things come at a cost. Some of these people would have to have a US bank account or an address in the US. Some of these are actual companies that are outside of the US but just offer services in TT. So they have a local site that reflects in Trinidad and Tobago seller service, but any online payments are processed through their original system, which is Amazon Pay or Google Pay or Braintree or any of those other US sites. So there are ways for it to be done, right? But for your safety and your less stress, if you stick to local payment processors, you should be better off. MasterCard, so apart from Visa, there are sites that accept MasterCard, American Express, Apple Pay, Visa. Maestro is a subsidiary of MasterCard, PayPal, and Venmo. Right? So all these are possible. However, it takes a lot of time to map these things together to make sure that the back end works smoothly. Also, this would carry up your cost if you're looking at added on any one of these, right? So we need to be careful about what we're looking at to add on to our website. Simple is better. You don't have to wait 4 or 5 days or 4 or 5 weeks to get your money withdrawn. Some people, maybe small businesses, not looking to move, they want their money one time, right? So we move on. So here is where I break out e-commerce through social media, right? Now, somebody asked me last week, what's e-commerce through social? So electronic commerce just means any type of commerce that takes place over electronic channels, right? It doesn't mean that you have to own the channel because a lot of people don't own Amazon, but it's e-commerce because they sell electronically, right? So there's Facebook shops, Instagram shops that you could create. Go to your page, create a shop, go in the options, create a shop. YouTube is there with guidance. Karen Rose also has two videos where he break down, one for Facebook shops, one on IG shops. Check out that if you need it to build out your own shops. There's also Facebook Marketplace that is open and free that a lot of people use. There's existing traffic on those platforms, right? Pinterest, YouTube, any other social channel you could think about, right? You could post a link and get paid. Even on your WhatsApp business now, that allows you to post a catalog, you could post a URL on any one of your catalogs on your WhatsApp business. Somebody could go directly to that and make a payment with a pay link. So what is a pay link? A pay link is a link that you create for a fixed cost that could be used repetitively. So I could create a pay link, I could create a recurring pay link, I could create a monthly pay link, and that link is up on my website for a product. And once you click, it takes you to a page. You put in your credit card information, you pay, you process. I get that, and I ship you my whatever I'm selling, right? So this could happen on any channel that accepts a URL, right? Now you could use Linktree and do it on your IG bio. You could put the URL on the descriptions in anything on your Facebook shops, IG shops, Pinterest, Facebook Marketplace. So anywhere that there is a description that you could put a URL, you can put a pay link. Now, There's two companies that offer pay links. That's Social Pay and there's Buzz Pay, right? WePay offers you a digital invoice, and that digital invoice essentially is, like I said before, you want to create a website or you want to create a product for a specific pace or price. You could go to WePay, create a invoice for that fixed amount, sell it, or send it to the person, or list it on a site. List it anywhere you want, as a matter of fact. It takes that link, somebody goes to it, put in your credit card information, pay, the money is in your WePay wallet, and then you have to now withdraw that down to your actual bank account. I think there's a $5 charge for that, of withdrawing from your WePay account to your actual bank account. So there's that. But pay links, the other two links could be used repetitively. So they are ideal for any kind of social commerce. So gone are the days where we're looking at a DM for price, or we're looking at how do I get to pay? Bank payments, or do I have to go and line up in a line? We're under lockdown, there's no paywise, all play with boots, lotto boots are off, so there's no way to go and pay money through those other channels. People want to avoid things like Western Union and MoneyGram in high traffic areas. Here is where you could do that. You have your nice Facebook shop, you have your nice IG shop, and that says, here's what. You go to my IG shop, you pay. If you feel to put in the price of delivery one time, and then you have a delivery partner, then you're good, right? And that takes us to the next slide, right? Delivery. Now, there's quite a few delivery partners in Trinidad. I just pulled out a few that stood out, I guess, not in any kind of order, not with any kind of affiliation. So there are people that offer an actual pickup and drop-off deliveries. Some are at fixed price. I think Sped is at a fixed price of, if not, I think $40 for anywhere in Trinidad. I think they come and pick up and deliver. Already, fulfillment just launched a couple of days ago, so I'm not too sure the costing on that. But the whole campaign was about how easy and hassle-free it is. There's TT Post that may have a delay because of their constraints. There's Deliver Me TT that also offers ride-share services, but delivery services also. There's CSF, who is a Skybox courier, who you do the ship from Amazon to them in Miami, ship it down, but they also realize that they would have had extra bandwidth in Trinidad, so they do local deliveries around, because I guess they would have already had the assets. And right away couriers, I've never used them. So disclaimer, I've never used any of these for delivery, because I do sell physical products, but however, I have to know about it based on how I consult, etc. So I have people that have used all of these with different requirements, on different types of feedback. So that is one thing you need to take into consideration. As I said, pick the one that's right for you. Do your own research. Find out what is better for you. Could your customers wait? Are your customers pre-ordering? What is the actual wait time? If it's every other day, could you afford to factor any one of these into your business model for actual selling online? Some would have different costs. I think some cost by the distance. I think some cost by a fixed price cost. So you could check them out. And there's also plenty other delivery services popping up daily in Trinidad and Tobago. So this is one of the things that you could jump into, right? So we're here. We're looking at e-commerce structure now. So ideally, this is just a framework of what your e-commerce structure should look like. However, you don't have to start here. Your front end is your customer facing side, which will be your website, your landing page. If you feel to have a mobile application, then that is there. There's your e-commerce backend, which is your backend dashboard that you would see all your products, how you're going to constantly update things, and essentially behind that now you should have something for content management. How do you manage your content on the site? Products, videos, pictures. How do you automate your marketing? What do you use for marketing efforts to drive traffic? How do you manage your customers? The customers have like a portal that they sign in that they can see their previous orders, just like our Amazon dashboard, our ERP that surrounds every other thing that automates all the other parts of the business, and then your analytics that you need to track to see, all right, customer lifetime value, how long they spend, what pages that they went on and they left, how are we going to retarget them, are we going to suggest different things, how do we track? Because we always need to measure where you are and how you can continuously improve, right? This, as I say, this essentially could be a general framework. I do expect smaller sites to naturally have this, but as you grow to enterprise e-commerce, like big sites in Trinidad, like maybe even excellent stores, like standards, like courts, these enterprise big multinational companies should have a robust framework, something like this. It could vary because you could use content management in the back end. You could use a third-party marketing automation site. You could use customer management in a different way. You could use analytics in totally different way, whether it's Mixpanel, whether it's Google Analytics, whether it's different type of analytics that you want to use, right? So there's multiple ways that it could be done. So look at it there. And we're here. 3 important things to e-commerce. So based on my experience, a lot of people say, why so much for a website, or why this has to cost that much, and they don't understand, right? One of the most important things is because you're not in a physical place anymore, somebody can't say, right, well, I'm going in the mall and find you, right? And for the people who were looking or would have been walk by shoppers, would have been, all right, because there's existing traffic and this person has to go somewhere close to your store, they may walk in and buy. That is a little bit harder online. So what happens is SEO, which is search engine optimization, means how do you optimize your site so that when people search for things on a search engine, your site is optimized to match that, and discoverability, right? One of the biggest problems that we have is obscurity. There's a lot of websites. There's over 1 billion websites online. Websites are coming online every day in every country. Everybody wants to get online. So it's going to be hard to differentiate yourself and get discovered. Now, if somebody is searching for something and your site isn't found, that's a sale that you've lost. I would have gone to your competitor or gone to Amazon, who's probably always a competitor, right? So one, we need to be found. Not just be found by your brand name, right? Not just be found if you're saying Ocey Phillips, and if somebody doesn't type in Ocey Phillips, then that's it. No, but be found for the keywords for all the products that you offer, services that you offer, which ties into all the content that you have, right? So you have to be able to be found for every single piece of thing that could drive a sale, and that is your number one priority. Because somebody could find you, and if they want your product bad enough, or if your product or your service is solving a problem bad enough for this person, that they would pay you through Western Union or normal ACH bank transfer, right? But if they can't find you, if they can't find a solution for the problem that they have, then they would go somewhere else and then they would pay for that, right? So you're leaving money on the table, right? Ability to get paid. We don't want that when somebody search and they find you, that you're not able to get paid, because one, you can't accept money in this currency. It's hard exchange rates, yada yada yada. The person only has this way to pay. Because that's a real thing. Some of your customers may only be able to pay by cash. Some may not be lucky enough to have new debit cards. Some may not have an actual credit card. And this is where you need to look at share of wallet, meaning how much things that you have to be able to accept payments. Is it only one way? So that if somebody come, like when you walk into a business place and you're saying no links, if you only have links, that business just lost a sale. It's the same for online. If somebody only has one certain type of credit card or one method to receive payments, then your business isn't ideally equipped to gain that or more of the customer share wallet. Because they may be willing to spend, but they can't get the money to you. And that's a huge problem. You want to be able to get paid, right? And you also want the ability to deliver a product or service efficiently, meaning that there's some platforms that you could use that would deliver at a fixed cost, again, cross-border, in-country. Look at things like DHL Express, there's Caribbean Airlines, Jetpack, there's FedEx. These things may not have a fixed cost. You need to look at if the price you're selling in Trinidad, do you need to do that as a 1.5 multiple to sell outside? Meaning, if you're selling something for $100 in Trinidad, 100 TT, should you sell it for 150 online because they have to facilitate that payment to cross for people who are buying from other countries? And when I say online, I mean people who are seeing you from other markets, right? That has a lot to do with if you're geo-targeted, meaning I could set a geofence around Trinidad and everybody who visits my site from an IP address in this area would see what I want them to see. But if somebody from the USA looks at my site, then I would change and I would add things, or they would see a different version of the site that looks different to them. Different products, different prices, different everything. So when they make a purchase, it may be the exact same thing. It may be the exact same t-shirt, the exact same shoe. But because they make a purchase from a different country, they are now paying a different price that facilitates that fulfillment for them, right? And not just a fulfillment, but efficient fulfillment and a quality fulfillment. Means that when they get the item, it's not broken up, and after they've found so much, or go through so much trouble to pay and get things done, then the return logistics is a big problem, right? I haven't seen anybody kind of tackle those problems as yet here in Trinidad, but we hope for good things, right? So we'll just do a quick recap as we jump out. How to do e-commerce in TNT. Ask yourself these 4 questions. What problems are you solving? Is there money in the problem that you're solving? How could I distribute the solution? How could I get paid? Right? E-commerce on your own channel is a list, things that you have to evaluate from where has market demand, right down to competition, to your business model, how much you're going to spend to acquire customers, determine the platform you're going to use. 9 out of 10 times I just tell people WordPress, but there are other platforms, Squarespace, Judah, bunch of other, Shopify, Magento, PrestaShop, go down the line, right? Weebly, Wix, you name it, right? But the one that is important to use is one where you could get paid the easiest, which is the part of least resistance, right? Boom. Then you do your brand identity, registration, bank accounts with your local bank, however you want to do it. If you don't have those things, then look at how you're going to package your product or service, how it's going to be listed, pricing, strategy behind that, determine your sourcing, where you're going to buy from, how you're going to distribute efficiently, research, shipping and fulfillment, because this would be an Achilles heel. You don't want people paying you and you're not able to deliver, because one bad customer really could affect your sales, especially where in this cancel culture. Buy a URL, create your site. If you're not able to create it, you need a coach. There's Karen Rose. You need somebody to build it. I'm here. And there are plenty other web development companies are popping up every week across Trinidad. Develop your marketing content. Content marketing also is key on how you build that community of people that you educate through content. SEO, how you're going to be found. Social media, digital strategies, how you're going to use those as breadcrumbs and lead people to your site to pay. So you have to figure out a strategy for that. How you're going to build an audience and a following, because you have to build a community of people that believe in you. Then you could sell them almost anything. Key to note, Tesla built a community behind its vehicles, decided to just randomly go out and do a tequila, sold out in minutes. And then recently, a couple of weeks ago, I'm seeing Tesla has filed for a restaurant license. So who knows, they're probably going into that. Restaurants may make sense for them because people could come and charge their Teslas outside, but also buy. So who knows how they're looking at it from a strategy standpoint. Right? Platforms that you could use, as I say, you could use WordPress, WooCommerce, right? Shopify, but you have to know how you're going to get paid. Magento, also Squarespace, Wix, and all the others I named. OpenCart, all these other platforms you could need to look at. Right? Make sure the one that you choose, it's an informed and educated decision, and you know what you're getting into. Don't just rush and you, all right, Shopify is nice, and then after you realize, well, yeah, it's nice, but I'm not getting paid, but I already spent X amount of money. When somebody comes to fix it, then you're not able to pay them because you've already injected some money into it, right? How to get paid, as I said, in Trinidad, WePay, BuzzPay, Social Pay. You could still use PayPal. You could use others. But top three, WePay, Safe Bet for WooCommerce. They say Shopify is coming. They say OpenCart is there. Magento is there. BuzzTT, do all homework. Do homework on all, actually. But I know Buzz has a Shopify bridge and a couple other things. Check them out. Social Pay says that they have Wix, WooCommerce, Squarespace, and I think they have Shopify. PayPal would work with almost any platform that you have because PayPal has integrations. However, you need to know, depends on the type of cards that you have or the type of accounts that you have, it would get some problems because you don't want that money stuck in your PayPal wallet and you can't withdraw it and do anything, right? Bank's contribution, do your own research on the Visa debit cards if you're purchasing, but also do your research to know how people are going to pay you if you're going to have any issues with refunding and types like that. Look at that, note that, make sure that is a part of what you're doing for e-commerce. As I say, other people has been getting paid. It's just been tricky, but there are ways to get paid. Because there are sites here, Stripe, PayPal, Google Pay. Do not confuse yourself with this, please. Do not. If you're looking to get paid locally, please look here. These options, when new options come on board, I would update the video and let people know. But please look at WePay to get paid, Social Pay, PayPal, BuzzTT. Right? PayPal should be a last resort. Right? E-commerce through social media. Now we're looking at it. Some people call it social commerce. However, Facebook, IG shops use pay links from Social Pay or BuzzTT or BuzzPay. Drop those links in the description so that people could pay you seamlessly. And when you just do, you just get a notification. You check somebody has paid. No DM for price. No sending of, hey, this is my bank account information. Make sure they pay that before they contact you. Seamless, 2 o'clock in the morning, whatever hour of the night. You wake up, you smile, you see your payments received, and then you ship the same day. Right? Easy breezy, beautiful cover care. Right? Not to forget, we pay with their digital invoices. So if you want to create an invoice manually for people, you could do that. However, if you want it automated, and you have fixed price products that you could group, you could create pay links with your descriptions and you could run through it, right? Delivery options, if you're looking at it, I just have 6 listed here, but there's so much more. Deliver Me TT, again, that's rideshare and delivery. CSF, that is Skybox and local delivery. Right away is actually local delivery. TT Post is our national courier. Already, again, ride sharing, and they just launched a fulfillment aspect of it a couple days ago. It's new, don't have much feedback, but when I do, I will drop that in the upcoming video. And Sped actually is built for logistics and delivery. I think they have a fixed price model. Get at them, right? E-commerce structure, you need to look at the structure of your business, what you need to do if you want to get your business to this stage, but it doesn't have to look exactly like this. So you could just frame up your own idea of what it should look like. And coming down here, 3 most important things after you frame up your e-commerce. Everything should revolve around how do people find you and you get discovered, your product or service get discovered at the right time and the people who want to buy. How are you going to get paid? ability to get paid seamlessly is most important. I don't want to be able to just sit there and say my money's stuck somewhere and I'm frustrated. And the ability to deliver a product or service, find out your fulfillment partners as early as possible. Whether you yourself has to do it, get up and deliver, you still need to find out what your delivery dates are and how you're going to organize, whether you're going east, west, north, south, or central, right? And last but not least, thank you for your time. You guys can visit my website, ocphillips.com. Like, share, subscribe this video, subscribe to the channel also, and let me know if this was helpful in the comments. Let me know what you need help with. You can book a call with me on my site, and you can let me know if this was insightful. Thank you for your time, guys.